So Eboni K. Williams, she was recently on the Breakfast Club. And what made me make this video is some comments that she made about how she would treat her husband. And I'm like, okay, now Eboni gets it. She get it, but it's something behind what she said that she gets it. I need to talk about. Let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Well, what do you offer, Eboni? I know, but I want to know what you would say.
No, I'm going to tell you, and some of this might surprise you, even as well as we know each other. One of the things that I'm most proud of that I offer to a husband, and this is where finding a man that values these things is important, because we know everybody doesn't value the same things. If coming home to a sanctuary is important to you, if coming home to a curated home where you are king of your castle, where it looks good, it smells good, there's a hot meal, you don't have to worry about where your clothes are, they're clean, they're hanging up, everything's organized, your kids are clean, they've done their homework, those things, I'm the woman for you. I really believe a woman's role is to curate a safe, very comfortable, loving home.
It's like Cater to You by Destiny's Child. No, I'm kidding.
Um,
I don't think a man can make a house a home.
Yeah, I believe that's a woman's role. That said, I'm not paying no mortgage. No, I'm not paying no mortgage. I'm dead ass.
Not even half?
Not even $5. Not even $5
What about bills? You paying some bills?
Not even $5. I'm not ever gonna laugh about that.
I'm dead. Eboni, I'm dead.
I'm dead ass. What you do get is this. You do not get that. I'll pay a Spectrum bill. I'll pay a cable bill.
You get FiOS now.
I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, but I'm not. If I have to pay for the roof over my head and my children's head, I might as well live with you.
I think
that's how I feel.
Now, Eboni understands 100% what it is. Yes, men want everything that she stated. Eboni believes in gender roles. Eboni believes in her femininity. She understands what her husband would need from her. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And shout out to Eboni K. Williams for even speaking that publicly, because you understand that Eboni will be attacked. She will be attacked by the feminists, and she will be attacked by the I hate black men crowd. That's on social media, and they are many. But it's something she said behind that I also need to talk to fellas about. See, fellas, you may be applauding Eboni K. Williams and what she stated, and I'm with her and I support her in everything that she is saying. But what she said behind there is that if I'm going to be doing all of that, if I'm going to be walking in my traditional roles, because a lot of brothers want women to walk in traditional roles, but some of you don't want to walk in the traditional role either. Understand? If she's going to be at home taking care of your babies and making sure your baby is not put up in some daycare somewhere, because you should be having her at home where she could take care of your kids, right? And if you want a meal when you come home, when you want the house clean and smelling good and her available to you, well, you got to pay that cost to be the boss. You understand? So you're going to have to take care of all the bills. Now, you heard what she said, I pay a cable bill, basically. But if I'm going to be doing all that, then you got to walk in your traditional role. Now, some of you with this argument, you want her to do all the traditional role, but you want her to go out to work too. Listen, let me tell you reality, because that's where I come from, reality. If your woman got to get up 7 o'clock in the morning, okay, be to work for 8:30, just as much as you may have to be to work in the morning. She works all day, just as much as you worked all day. Then you come home, and then you expect her to serve you and cater to you and do everything. And she was going out the house just as much as you all day. How do you expect her to be making sure the meal is there and the house is spick and span when you hit the door? How do you expect all that when you had her out all day? And I say you had her out at work all day because some of you, the 50-50 guys, say, well, she need to pay half and I need to pay half. Like she said, and I agree with that. Well, if I got to pay half, then she need to go live with a roommate somewhere. Not with you. And I'm 100% with that, because some fellas out here don't want to take that responsibility and be a man to do that. Now, some of them are ignorant, because this is ignorant what they're saying. That's being a simp, paying all the bills. Really? If you lived in reality, you would know why you shouldn't depend on no women. First and foremost, what if she get pregnant? Well, what are you going to do then? The doctor may, let's say she have a difficult pregnancy, right? The doctor may say she needs to be on bed rest. What are you going to do about your bills, bruh? The bills got to be paid. What you going to do? Make her get up off of bed rest and potentially lose your baby because you were dependent on her to pay half the bills? Sometimes women just, getting those modes where they just don't want to work at certain places anymore. They're tired of it. Listen, women aren't men. They aren't. And they don't endure the things that we endure. And there's nothing wrong with saying that, because real women understand I'm not no doggone man. I can't put up with what, men put up with. So this is why I lean on my man, I lean on my husband, right, to do these things. I never wanted to have my bills in a situation where if half of them is dependent on my wife, then if something happens to her, whatever the case may be, now I'm scurrying for money, right? So in order for you to get that, you got to be the man that's, they talk about today, the 6-figure guy, the high value guy, whatever. You got to be that guy. And those guys don't depend on no woman to pay no bills. So because he don't depend on no woman to pay no bills, then he can look at her and say, hey, well, I would like a meal and a house and a kid. You could say that because you put her in position where she have no excuse not to do it. Now, if she's not doing it at that point, if she's not doing it, then you have a whole lot to say, because now she's just being lazy at that point. But also reality speaking, depends on how many kids you have, depends on how young they are. Those kids can tire her out too, because those little kids all day, sometimes they can be bouncing off of the walls and all of that. So yes, having kids can be tiring. And especially in America, it's not like in Africa, the African nations, where you can get a nanny. It doesn't cost you much to help your wife out, right? So when you start having kids, that may diminish a little bit too. We just being reality speaking. I've been there, I've done that. But I can tell you from personal experience that I wanted to create the environment where my wife didn't have to go out there and go to no job. Matter of fact, my last child, my little girl, my 6-year-old, when my wife was working prior to that, and it's because she wanted to. I didn't need her to, but she was working. When she went out, at her 36 weeks or whatever, I said, you're not going back. Because I'm not going to have no child of mine in nobody's daycare. I work hard enough where you can be home. And that's the way it went from there. I say, you know what you need to do? Create, your own business. You're good at making cakes. I facilitate you with that. Do that. I say, but we're not going to have you out of the house, tired. What about my baby? And now, her cakes are doing great. She's really growing in that department, right? Because you should also facilitate your woman to create a business as well, especially if she has a talent. So understand, women, you can't put that on women what Eboni K. Williams is talking about if you're not willing to facilitate that financially. And because I don't want you brothers living in fantasy world, because some messages come to you, it's just fantasy. It sound good, it's good clicks and views, but it's not giving you reality. Because listen, once you get up off of this YouTube, I don't want to be telling you anything on any platform I'm on that you can't use in the real world. Understand? Because let's call it what it is. Just because you make a certain amount of money don't mean you can dog your woman out. You can do this to a woman, do that to your woman. No. Some of the things that's being promoted will get y'all behind locked up real quick. You don't need to be listening to everything you hear come across social media if it's not based in reality. What I'm telling you is you have to be at a financial position yourself. Then you can require all that, because you have shown that woman, I don't need you financially. That's one thing I don't need from you. But, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the situation with Eboni K. Williams and what she had to say. Love what she had to say. Beautiful words spoken from that sister. But at the end, it's not her job to pay no bills if she's going to be doing all that.